All praise to Yahweh. What's going on? Shalom, Yashar. Just want to go ahead and get to this, man. Oh, forgive me. Phone acting crazy. Having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that, guys. All right, technical difficulties over. All right, we'll go ahead and get into this lesson, man. This is gonna be Tower of Babel, Reincarnated. I just want to go ahead and put out some disclaimers here. You got a lot of people who say Torah Israelites, they not spiritual at all. They don't understand the spiritual sense. And that could be further from the truth. So we'll just go ahead and let's get this reincarnation first. And then I'm going to get a story and I'm going to show y'all something. So we're going to go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 5. And that says, what has been already exists, and what is still to be has already been, and God always seeks the pursued. So let's grab a precept for that. We're gonna go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Whatever has been done, whatever has been is what will be, and whatever has been done is what will be done. There is nothing new beneath the sun. So clearly, the Torah tells you that reincarnation is very real. And what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and we're going to go to this Tower of Babel account. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to finish that up. And then I'm going to do my best to connect that to something nice. So I want to go ahead and I want to explain some things about the Tower of Babel. Number one, the only family who actually built the Tower of Babel was Ham's family. All the accounts that I've read, there's not a Shemite, there's not a Japhite. Nobody else was there but Ham. And that's very important too. So let's go ahead up here to Genesis 11. And let's go ahead and we're going to start at number 4. And they said, come. Well, let's just start at number 1. The whole earth was of one language and of common purpose. And it came to pass when they migrated from the east, they found the valley in the land of Shinar and settled there. They said one to another, come, let us make bricks and burn them in fire. And the bricks served them as stone, and the bitumen served them as mortar. And they said, come, let us build a city and a tower with its tops to the heaven, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed across the whole earth. So we're going to stop right there. To continuation of this account, you got to go into the book of the upright. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read this account for y'all. All right, that's going to be book of Jasher, chapter number 9, and we're going to start at verse number 20. And King Nimrod reigned securely, and all the earth was under his control, and all the earth was of one tongue and words of union. And all the princes of Nimrod and all of his great men took counsel together, Put, Mizraim, Cush, and Canaan, with their families, and they said to each other, come, let us build ourselves a city, and in it a strong tower at the tops reaching to heaven, and we will make ourselves famed, so that we may reign upon the whole world, in order that the evil of our enemies may cease from us, that we may reign mightily over them, and that we may not become scattered over the whole earth on the account of their wars. So I want to stop y'all real quick. We got to understand subject matter. Keep this in mind. What happened? What just happened right before this time? It was the flood. And remember, Yahweh killed a lot of people during the flood. So what these Hamites have done is, because their daddy Ham, he remembers the flood, so he's taught his children that. So what his children have done is that they're actually doing this in 2 fashions. They're doing this as one, as a rebellion against Yahweh, and they're doing this as 2 because they said they didn't want to be a part of the wars of the other people going on around them. So let's get back to the story. Verse number 22. And they all went before the king, which is Nimrod, and the king, and they told the king these words, and the king agreed with them. on this affair, and he did so. Verse 23. And all the families assembled, consisting of about 600,000 men, and they went to seek an extensive piece of ground to build the city and the tower. And they sought the whole earth, and they found none like one in the valley east of the land of Shinar, about 2 days' walk. And they journeyed there, and they dwelt there, and they began to make bricks and burn fires and build the city and the tower which they had imagined to complete. Verse 25. And the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin, and they began to build it, and which they were building against the Lord God of heaven, they imagined in their hearts to war against him and to ascend into heaven. And all of this people of all of the families divided themselves into three parts. The first said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him. The second said, we will ascend into heaven and place our own gods there and serve them. The third part said, we will ascend into heaven and smite him with bows, spears. And God knew all of their works and their evil thoughts, and he saw that the city and the tower which they were building. And when they were building, they built themselves a great city and a very high, strong tower. And on the account of the height of the mortar, until those who went up and completed it a full year. Close the door on your way out, buddy. All right, slack, y'all. It says, a great city and a very high strong tower, on the account of its height, the mortar and the bricks did not reach the builders in their ascent until those who went up had completed a full year and a day. And after that, they reached the builders and gave them mortar, and the bricks thus was done daily. So I'm going to stop. Do you understand what that means? That means they was building, this tower had got so big. From the time they made a brick, it took a whole year to make it to the top. So granted, we can clearly already see this is a very prideful act going on. Verse number 28. And behold, these ascended and others descended the whole day. And if a brick should fall from their hands and got broken, they would all weep over it. And if a man fell and died, none of them would look at him. And the Lord knew their thoughts, and it came to pass when they were building, they cast arrows towards the heaven, and all the arrows fell filled with blood. And when they saw them, they said to each other, surely we have slain those who are in heaven. For this was from the Most High Yahweh, in order to cause them to err, and in order to destroy them from off the face of the ground. And they built the tower in the city, and they did this thing daily until many days and many years were elapsed. Verse 32. And God said to the 70 angels who stood foremost before him, to those who were near him, saying, come, let us descend and confuse their tongues, that no man shall not understand the language of his neighbor. And they did so unto them. And from that day following, they forgot each man in his neighbor's tongue, and they could not understand to speak in one tongue. And when the builder took from the hands of his neighbor a limestone which he did not order, the builder would cast it away and throw it upon the neighbors, that he would die. And they did many days, and they killed many of them in this manner. And the Lord smote the three divisions that were there, and he punished them according to their works and their design. Close the door, baby. To their works and to their design. Those who said, we will ascend into heaven and serve our gods, became like apes and elephants, black and white colored. And those who said, we will smite the heaven with arrows, the Lord killed them, one man through the hand of his neighbor. And the third division of those who said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him, the Lord scattered them throughout the earth. Verse number 36. And those who were left amongst them, when they knew and understood the evil which was coming upon them, they forsook the building, and they also became scattered upon the face of the earth. And they ceased building the city and the tower, therefore they called the place Babel. For there the Most High confounded the language of the whole earth. Behold, it was at the east of the land of Shinar, and as to the tower which the sons of men built on the earth opened its mouth and swallowed it up. A third part therefore, and fire also descended from heaven and burnt another third, and the other third was left to this day, and it is of a part of which is a loft. Its circumference was a 3 days walk, and many of the sons of men died in that tower, a people without number. So let's stop right there. So I want to look at some stuff. So these same wicked niggas who built this tower got to thinking in their mind that they could do battle with the Most High. So the Most High killed them. Very simple. And I want to show y'all why I say Tower of Babel reincarnated. So take a look at this, y'all. And so I say to myself, well, if reincarnation is real and this act happened before, then what institutes this act happening again in our time? And of everything I've thought about and looked at, I looked and I noticed this, and I want you to take a look at this, y'all. Sorry, let's go here. Y'all remember that? It's the Titanic. Now remember, this Titanic, I want you to stay in the spirit with me. The people, when they built the Titanic, y'all can look this up. This is labeled the unsinkable ship. Now just remember, these dudes in this Tower of Babel thought that that would be enough to fight Yahweh. Now granted, these people made this ship and they classified this the unsinkable ship before it even left. Right? Now tell me that's not the spirit of these same people coming back. Now watch, and I'm going to show y'all something just to give you a somewhat of an account of how big this thing was, because when you look at this on this picture, you don't get a true estimate of the size of this thing. Now I'm going to say this again. This is Tower of Babel reincarnated. So I've been doing some studies, and I first thought that the Tower of Babel was this structure right here, because this structure is huge. But then I said to myself, okay, well, the Tower of Babel has to be something that can be somewhat recognized today. It has to be something that can be somewhat recognizable today. But then I look back in history and I understand that a lot of kings and a lot of conquerors, what they do is they take one temple and they'll take all the stones from it and they'll remake another temple. So I've been looking around. I've been trying to figure out, so where's the Tower of Babel? And I want to show y'all, I believe wholeheartedly that the same people who built the Titanic, those are the same spirits of the same people who was trying to build the Tower of Babel. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that. The reason why I believe that, look how big this was. Now, for the untrained eye, when you look at this, you're looking at it at face value. Close the door, baby. You're looking at it at face value. So you don't really recognize and understand how big this thing is. But what I've done is I've took the liberty and I've got the dimensions on this. So I want y'all to just walk with me. This ship was so big, from the keel to the bridge. From the keel to the bridge, this ship was 104 feet. I'm going to show you what the keel and the bridge is. The keel is that little bitty area that goes right up on the water on a boat. From there to roughly in there was 100 feet. You can easily look and see from there to that is clearly roughly about another 100 feet. And let's look at that. About another 100 feet. All right. When you looked at the dimensions of this thing, it was 98 feet wide. It was 889 feet long. That's the equivalent of almost 3 football fields. And 100 feet from the kneel to the bridge, roughly what looks like another 100 feet and what looks like another 100 feet. So let's just go ahead and estimate that about 300 feet. To give you an understanding of how big this was, imagine standing on the side of a and looking at something, a boat that's so big, it roughly resembles 2.5 football fields floating down the river. If you understand that, then you will understand how big this Titanic boat actually was. And that's why I say that has to be these same wicked niggas reincarnated. Because why? When they built that Tower of Babel, The whole idea of that Tower of Babel was to be able to escape, that nothing will be able to happen to them. They built this ship with a blasphemous and a proud mind frame that said nothing could sink this ship. Well, Yahweh sunk this ship and killed all of these same wicked niggas again. And like I said, I've been looking around. I've been looking around and I've been studying on ziggurats and some of the oldest and biggest structures in the world. And I've been trying to find the Tower of Babel, and it has not been able to happen. But I actually found something that's very interesting. I think, I'm not going to say I found it, but I think I found something that resembles something very close. And oddly, this is in the same area as the Tower of Babel. I want you to take a good look at that. Y'all see that structure? That structure looks to be roughly the size of a city. You see how big that structure is? This is a sky view, guys. And you can see another city beside it. So tell me, what structure is this big? Con, I'm trying to get you a better picture. What structure is that big, guys? And on top of that, who? Because this is an ancient structure. Who has time to build something this big to where you can clearly see this structure alone is bigger than the city in the background? So when brothers say Torah Israelites ain't spiritual, I'm going to be the first one to say this. Clearly, the same people, the same spirits who built the Tower of Babel are the same spirits who came back to earth to build that. They attempted to build the Tower of Babel again, but it didn't work. Yahweh threw it down. And I'm going to show you something about these people. They've been trying their best to rebuild that tower so long. I want to show y'all something. So then, don't bullshit yourself, y'all. Y'all know what that is. It's the Empire State Building. What I'm showing you is these are the same spirits of the same people. They tried to construct this again. They keep trying their best to construct this. They tried with this and Yahweh threw it down. What I'm showing y'all is that these are the spirits of the same wicked niggas. These are the spirits of the same wicked niggas that built that structure right there. If you ask me in my studies, that is the remains of the Tower of Babel. So I just want to say all praise to Yahweh. I appreciate anybody who came through. Like we said the other night on the panel, this is true studies. So all praise to Yahweh. Appreciate everybody who came through. Just want to go ahead and say thank you, and be expecting the next one. That Egypt part 2 is definitely coming. And Shemaiah, Yashala, Yahweh, Shemaiah, Yashala, Elohim, Yahweh, Kad. Shalom, y'all.